Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDO 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I'm hearing the Lakers are interested in Mo Harkless. Um, the thing is that Mo Harkless is a young player who's played some nice defense in certain places, rebounds the ball, small forward type of player, but he's known for defense, which is good. But we need shooting, and I am just going to say I don't know if he's going to be the guy, the answer there. Now, can he hit a couple 3-point shots? I'm sure he can hit some shots, but is he going to be what we need in terms of filling a roster spot and fixing the problem that we have in the short term? I don't know. He would have to shoot like really, really, really well for that. Or he's just going to be another guy playing defense, bricking shots. So I don't know if the Lakers have a quick and easy fix to their problem right now. You know, some of the things that I want the Lakers to do is not really cater to anything in regards to the 3-point line, because I just basically understand that we probably have to punt it until we can make a huge trade to get better, or until we can get Cole Swider and 37, Matt Ryan, both in a position to have good roles on the team, where we can call on them and just go to them for 3-point looks. But outside of that, we're just going to need more discipline from the entire squad, regardless of what we do pretty much for the rest of the season. Even after we make a couple of trades, I don't think we're going to make ourselves a very good 3-point shooting team. So, Mo Harkless, I don't have a problem with the Lakers giving him a workout, seeing what he can do. Obviously, he's somebody who's played in a lot of situations and done some good things. I don't think he can hurt us on the wing. But I do think that we do have other issues, and I think we also have some players that we still have yet to incorporate into our rotation that are out. So we have to remember that. Troy Brown is still waiting to come back, and Dennis Schroeder's coming back, and so is Thomas Bryant. So with those players missing, they take away from the shooting, believe it or not. Thomas Bryant is supposed to be, in theory, a 3-point shooting center. You know what I mean? So that's something that you consider as well. I think Troy Brown should be able to hit some shots as well. And then, obviously, Dennis Schroeder is an all-around scorer, so you expect him to be able to effectively hit some 3-point shots. He's not going to be a 3-point shooter, but our 3-point shooting should improve once he gets back into our team. So that's kind of what it is. Like, is our team a horrible 3-point shooting team? Yes, but the pieces that we're missing are supposed to kind of make us so that we're not a overly horrible 3-point shooting team. You see what I'm saying? Those are supposed to be shot makers. So it's like, I guess Mo Harkless can add to that maybe, but I mean, in my mind, I don't really know. I honestly am not too excited about that. I think what the Lakers really need to be considering, in my mind, is just trying to fix the issues that we have control over. I want us to use Wenyen Gabriel more. I want us to call up Mason Jones, because those are two pieces that I think can really, really be thrown into the lineup. And then you'll have rotation with huge players. At least if we're going to be a non-shooting team, make us too big to deal with. That's my attitude. I don't want the small ball dynamic on the floor like we've had to start these games with Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverly is in our starting lineup. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's a disaster, And you can see as we use it, it just gets worse and worse. In my mind, I just think about how Mason Jones was a ball handler, a big ball handler who can get offensive rebounds, who draws fouls, who gets to the line, hits 3-point shots. I just don't really see nothing wrong with how he played the end of the season for me to not have him as a part of this roster, and then look at some of these problems we have. Look at how we filled the roster spots. I'm like, man, I think he's more talented than some of the dudes we're using. Like, we got to stop overthinking this thing. You know what I mean? I think there's this mantra that goes around the NBA about how you're supposed to have proven players. I heard it today on ESPN. They're unproven. I don't believe in that. I believe in prototypes, fam. I believe in percentages prototypes. I believe in leadership and intangibles and feel. Right? And then you put analytics with that and you get the game, in my mind. I don't need to find old guys who are not going to be able to do as much as they used to, who will be in and out of the lineup because they have injury issues that have lingered for 4 years and don't have a whole lot of desire to play sometimes because they got their lives straightened out. I really believe that you just need to find the guys that can do the things that you have envisioned for the team structure that you want. I don't care if this guy is got the cachet of a PJ Tucker or, somebody like Trevelin Queen. If he has the prototype length, ability, intangibles, throw him out there and get out of him what his strengths are supposed to be. That's all I'm saying, man. It's too much of this because I know what it is. It's management. It's numbers. It's sports politics. It's uh, agent games. You know what I mean? It's a lot that has to do with the money and it got to do with the art. But I'm telling you, if you forgo the money nonsense and just pay attention to what you're seeing on the floor, the Lakers' problems can be supplemented with some extreme overloaded strengths that they can pile on. You know what I mean? You just got to give yourself those opportunities by playing the right players. I think, I don't think we should throw Scottie Pippen out there necessarily, even though I think he would be more productive than, say, a Russell Westbrook in some cases. I don't think you throw him out there because he is going to get cooked by some of these older guys. So I know there's a limit to what it is even I'm saying. But at the end of the day, even so, I know if I'm throwing Scottie out there, the more I throw him out there, the better he's going to get. Even if he come out there and stink it up. If I keep him out there for about 3 weeks, he's going to either get better or get hurt. It's going to be one or the other. You know what I mean? And so that's the thing. You work with young players and you can coach them up. A guy like Russell Westbrook, it seems like we're catering everything to him. And that doesn't make any sense on no level. I will admit, I'm with Brian Windhorst as I was listening to him say that. I agree. We need to send Russell Westbrook home. But since we're not sending him home, I think we need to, since Jeanie has told us to play him, I think the best way to go about it is to showcase him. So that's how my opinion goes. But at the end of the day, it's like, I think Jeanie should change her mind and send him home so that we can use a roster spot to bring up a guy that can help us. You know what I mean? Like, that would really help our team quite a bit. Even though I'd say he's helped our team as well in some areas, ultimately we know we're trying to make up for what it is that his piece doesn't fit. So, yeah, it's just about making quick organizational decisions. I can't stress it enough, and understanding your priorities. At the end of the day, the number one most important thing the Lakers need to make sure they're doing is prioritize LeBron James. And the only reason why you would prioritize Russell Westbrook is because LeBron James told you to. Other than that, you should be trying to figure out how to make his tenure happy. Make it make sense as well. So I think Jeanie said that that's what her intention is, but some of the moves that we're making, is almost like we're prioritizing managing Russell Westbrook over everything that would help our team. And I just don't think we don't have to do that. You can very easily send him home and alleviate that headache from your organization entirely. So it's time that someone suggests that to Jeanie at this point. If I were the coach, I would say I think that's the best strategy. See what she says about it. Obviously, it's either yes or no from her, but Russell Westbrook doesn't have a whole lot to gain from playing basketball, for our team at this point, our roster has zero to gain from moving around and trying to fit him in. So that's where we're at. That is exactly where we're at. We have to just understand that I think losing comes at a great price when you lose without allowing young players to get better throughout those games. If you lean in on old guys and you end up losing, you messed up as an organization. Based on where the league is headed with young talent and development and the importance of player development, the importance of raising player value and things of that nature, yeah, no. You got to be developing talent. If I'm going to lose games, I got to be having young players that are getting better. I don't want to see Patrick Beverley missing 1 for 9 or 1 for 12. That does nothing for my future as a franchise. I'm just being honest. For a team that has no picks, losing that way does nothing for me. It means that this is going to prolong the process of me continuing to lose, because these guys are never going to get better. These old guys are going to walk into the sunset, and it's just going to be me here with a franchise of nothingness. So Jeanie needs to understand how that correlates. These type of decisions where you're trying to do things for Russell Westbrook, it totally translates to not being right for the roster and for what it is that you're trying to do. You know what I mean? You got to cut that problem off so that you can fix all that you're trying to ultimately fix with the team. So that's where we are, man. Until Jeanie makes that tough decision, we find ourselves always hanging on a limb with a tough decision, but it's just the nature of what we got going on. Until she makes that tough decision, our team is going to be in flux. Our coach is going to be dealing with headaches that are unnecessary. And then our team is going to lose. So that's where we are. That is it. I think Mo Harkless isn't the solution. You know what I mean? The solution is to rearrange the roster in such a way to position us to be able to make a trade. And I think the only way to do that is to make some of these young players better and then offer some of them up in trade, unfortunately. I hate to say it, but that's the only way you're gonna get better. Either you can do it now, you can do it 2 years from now, whatever it is. That's what it's gonna be. So that's what it is. It's the only way you get better under these circumstances without picks and with such limited talent. You sell high on everything you get, honestly. So I think a lot of what has been wrong with the Lakers is short-sighted. You know, I didn't like this, so let's make up for it. Let's erase this. Let's fix this. Now let's erase this. Let's fix this. It's been a lot of that. And when you have too many of those on a sheet of paper, the sheet starts looking messed up. It's not even worth keeping it. You might as well ball it up and start over, right? Because you got too many erasers. That's exactly what we are. There's too much of this going on. I like it. No. We had the Kuzma. Nah, let's erase it. You like Russell Westbrook? Nah, we can't. Let's erase it. It's too much of that. And when you have that dynamic in place with LeBron James, what you end up finding is that you can never actually get good enough to win. So tear it down to build it up if you're not going to do what it takes to win. And if you can't do what it takes to win, then you only have one option. So that's what it is, man. Some people blame Rob. The only way I know to look at it and say is I know he didn't have a whole lot of options. There's a lot of different ways you could say, oh, bring me this player. Even I say, bring me Otto Porter, but Otto Porter ended up signing for way more than we could have gave him. So it's just about what is available. You know, shooting was taken off the table, and we were in a space where, because of the fact that we had Russell Westbrook and didn't know what would need to be attached to him, we couldn't really do everything we wanted to do freely with the cap. And that's another thing that I understand that I don't think has really been explained to everybody as clearly as necessary. It ain't as simple as just saying, ooh, that's a shooter, bring him here. His numbers got to make sense to what it is, not only that we have, but what it is that we're trying to do. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I can't fit his contract in here with those contracts. I can't, yes, he's a great shooter, but I gotta put that player on the side and just take this guy, because this guy, Walker, is going to cost a little less, and it's going to allow me to make the moves necessary. And so it's so much of that going on in this science that is the balancing your cap, that ultimately I understand why he just had so little options in terms of putting this team together. I get that. And so my suggestion is always just forget about what's out there and just look for the G League talent prototypes. That's what I'm saying. Like, give me 40 Jones. Give me Mason Jones. You've never heard of him. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody wants him on their team. Put him on my squad. Give him 20 minutes a game. And if he sucks, coach him up. But do put him out there because he's a big body and who can do a lot of different things. And he's going to get better as you give him opportunities. And as you do that, he's going to turn into something because he's naturally talented. And I can see that already. So it's like he's going to find his way in the league eventually or overseas eventually. And you're going to see that his prototype was always what you needed in the beginning. Whether he was really good or just kind of good, you always needed what he did. That's the point. It's like, I don't give a damn about the names. Can you do what we need? Bring him here. It's a lot of stuff I'm looking at. It was a guy who mentioned something. And I know this kid is not ready. And he's a lot of hype. And there's a lot of this and that and the third. But then I started thinking about, like, what the hell are we doing? When you consider, like, Kai Soto, the kid from Philippines. What are we doing? They just sit up here with Damian Jones. You don't think Kai Soto better than Damian Jones? Kai Soto's definitely better than Damian Jones. And so, like, I know that's, like, tongue-in-cheek because nobody really wants to take him seriously. But the boy got metrics like Evan Mobley. You know what I'm saying? So at some point in time, you got to see if a dude can do something. At some point in time, you got to realize you're the team that should. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't think he's ready, but I don't think half the team we have is ready. So what are we doing? It's the type of thing that the Lakers need to do. You get a hype kid like that, and he turns into something in your uniform, guess what you got? Filipino Yao Ming. Boom. $100 million, just like that. Just because you took a chance where nobody else would. That's why I know if I were a GM kid like that, I can pay $1 million and turn him into something. Bol, he would have been on the team 2 years ago. Bamba, he would have been on the team 3 years ago. These type of things I would have did if I was a GM, and they could have fit in the cap if I'd have did them early enough, because I wouldn't have been looking for Markieff Morris and all these Rondo. And I ain't looking for them dudes. I'm looking for Bamba back then. You see what I'm saying? I'm looking for players that I can get that I know are going to pop. Deshaun Tate, I would have had him on the team already. Same price that you're paying for all these dudes. But you just got to catch them early. You just got to see them coming before everybody else does. Kevin Porter was in Cleveland. Remember that whole situation with Kevin Porter when he was in Cleveland messing around, throwing food because they didn't give, what's his name? It was Torian Prince his locker. You know we could have got that kid for a second round pick, and he wasn't worth nothing back then. It was worth nothing. But nobody had the vision to say, let me try to get him. Nah, they was too busy chasing some old player, trying to give him $10 million, $15 million. What? No, Kevin Porter's going to be a star one day. You just got to see that before and trust what you're seeing in the tape and just bring him in. Don't worry about the politics. Don't worry about the agent. Don't worry about, I don't care about none of that. Can he play? Yeah, bring him in. That's it. And I promise you, if the Lakers start doing business that way and forget about all the politics just come to you. You're the Lakers. That's the thing I never understood. It's like the Lakers play the game and nobody else has to play. If you do things the way Indiana do it, you're going to attract the talent that Indiana can't. Like, it never made sense to me why the Lakers always fell so far into the glitz and glamour media aspect of doing things when you know, no matter what's going on, if you are a stable environment, the very best talent is going to choose you before the rest of the field. How is it that you don't see that basketball should be the number one thing that brings you the business that ultimately everybody else is talking about? Like, that was always just the greatest head scratcher to me in regards to my franchise. They always got caught up in the hype and the phony, the superstar goofiness when that stuff came to you naturally without even doing anything. You don't even have to act like that. Them dudes are going to come to you because it's Los Angeles. You play this thing like a blue-collar town, you're going to have every superstar ever want to come here, be here, because this is where it's at. Giannis would have chose this place if we would have ran it like it's Milwaukee. Basketball first, business second, media, whatever. Let them talk about us while we ignore them. That's how you handle that. But the Lakers always want to get caught up in the glam, always get caught up in all that nonsense. I'm saying, look, forget all that. Just turn into a basketball nerd organization. And I promise you, the best talent will make you twice the money that you've been making up to this point. Twice. All these players want is for somebody to be as nerdy about basketball as they are and have a great town for them to live in. That's it. Listen to these dudes like Kevin Durant. All he want to do is play ball all day, all night. Brandon Ingram, that's all he wants to do. He don't want to do nothing else at all. We be thinking we got to do so much to get these guys. Man, no, not the ones you really want. The ones that are crazy about ball like Kobe. That's all they want is people to be nerds about the sport, man. So that's what I know. I just want to tell Jeannie, like, look, just hire the best nerds you can find. The best basketball nerds you can find and make and empower them. Along with your brother who's scouting like one of the best scouts in the world. And just empower them. And sit back and watch your money flow. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.